You? Okay.
New at noon, CASA of North Mississippi is in need of volunteers. Carrie Coggins, advocate supervisor, is here to tell us more about what they need. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what CASA is if our viewers don't know.
Okay, we get a lot of confusion here because we have CASA, which is a child program that they have, but ours is a court-appointed special advocates, and we are an agency that works with children that are in foster care. So we have around 200 children in foster care in Lee County, and we try to connect an advocate with every child that's in foster care so that we can provide the services that that child needs, be an advocate for them, go to court with them, and visit them in the home where they're placed and make sure they're having what they need.
Yeah, and how important is something like this to have in a local community like ours?
Well, we have seen a vast improvement in reunification rates and just timely adoptions and things with having an advocate, because we've got more than one person looking into what's going on with that child, and we've got foster parents that need help with resources that are out there, and the CPS staff that are, you know, strained with a high caseload. So we found that having an extra person there with boots on the ground to help those children has really helped with getting the kids more stable and helping them to stay in the same community where they were taken and stay around the schools where they've come from.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about the need for volunteers.
Well, like I said, we have about 200 kids in foster care here, and so if, you know, we want to have one child, an advocate for every child, and so right now we only have about a third of our children covered with a mentor from CASA, so we want to have enough volunteers to be able to pair every child up with a mentor and a volunteer. So.
Absolutely. So how can someone become a volunteer?
Well, we have training coming up, which is one of the reasons I came today. It starts on April 28th, and so in order to go through the training, though, we do require some types of, you know, processes such as background checks and interviews and stuff, and so we want to get the word out there that there is a need for, you know, more mentors and more volunteers, but we do want to try to get as many as we can in this training that we have coming up, because we only provide training twice a year, so we want to get as many people as we can into that training this time in April.
Yeah, and this training is super important for these children, right?
Right.
I mean, because, like you said, the organization is so important in the community. So people watching this, I mean, can you tell them just how important it is?
Yes, I mean, to us, a lot of the people that we have that volunteer have never worked with children that have been abused. They don't understand the trauma that these children go through, and so it teaches them in some online courses as well as in-person courses how to work with children that are going through sort of like the autism center where she was speaking earlier. We have children that have been through, you know, just some horrific things, and those things are not easy to work with, and so the training is very helpful in working with them on how to deal with that, because they're not social workers, they're not trained in how to do all that typically. So it's a very intensive training. It provokes a lot of thought, and it helps them to have a better understanding of what to do when they start working with those kids.
All right, absolutely.
So,
well, thank you so much for joining us in the
you.
studio today. We'll have